Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back to Christmas Crafting 2024. And as you can see, I've got a little array of bits of fabric, so I'm sure you can guess it's snippet roll time. Because I really want to make a snippet roll or a couple, because I really like you to use that as a base for my belly bands, and I definitely want to make a belly band for my journal and one for the other journal. So I've just got a box. I've been sorting. I had a big bag full of all these little scraps, so I've sorted it into small pieces of fabric, and then little tiny pieces of fabric, and then I've got these little bits of scraps of more decorative pieces of ribbon and trim and stuff in there. And my base for the snippet roll is going to be this. It's a sort of calico. This was a bag I bought quite a while ago in Hobbycraft. It's just like a little shopper bag, completely plain, for £1. They were selling them, and I bought it specifically for the purpose of cutting it up and using the fabric, because it's a lovely colour. It's quite nice fabric to use as a base for these. And so I thought I'd cut a couple of strips up, and we'll see how we get on making a couple of these. Then I will sew down them, and we'll use them. And I'm going to use, for the base of my belly band, I'm going to use this piece from the Stamperia paper pad, because that's lovely, and it'll be a nice. Obviously I'm going to cut it down. In fact, this is probably going to be big enough to make 2, and then I shall put I'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll make it a little wider and use something different for the other one. We'll see. Anyway, so let's get started on my little bits of fabric. I love doing these things. In fact, I was up early this morning. Very unlike me. Making snippets. I just couldn't help myself. I'll just show you quickly. I've just got a whole bunch of them. It's literally 2 pieces of either lace or fabric like that. 2 bits, different sizes, just stapled together, making a load of those, because I want to use this shade. I want to use them for the base of my, what did I do? For my number dates. So it's going to be Christmas journal, but it mostly be in December. So I'm going to use some of these numbers. I think these are a freebie from Rach and Bella Crafts. I'll put 2 to a page to make them a bit smaller, but I thought it'd be quite nice for each of them. Where'd that one go that I had in my hand? Oh, doesn't matter. Or probably this one. Depending on the size that I use, because this is half size and I've got the full size ones as well. I'm just going to cut them out and pop them on one of these snippets. I'm just going to make a load of them. So I thought they would just be a nice decorative element as well. And I found I've got little bits of snippet ruffle that I had. I've got a few ruffles in here that I'd made some last year or the year before. Different lengths, obviously bits I had left over. I want to make some more. I love a ruffle. So I might use some of these as well. On the page, look, I've got a whole length of this one I probably didn't use last year. Bunch of little snippets that I've made before. So all sorts of little decorative things I can use in my journal. And I want to make some bigger ones as well. I just want to make everything. I've got this one remaining larger cluster. I want to make some of those as well. So I don't know what I'll get done today. Obviously not everything, but I thought, well, I'll start with the snippet roll, see where we go from there. So I'm just going to, I've got a bunch of bits of fabric. They don't need to be very big. And I think I will just use my fabric glue, I think, to just put a dot somewhere, just to catch them down, but I don't want to put too much on because I am going to be sewing. So something like that. I can use a little piece. So first of all I'm going to do just a strip of just bits of fabric in a length, and then we'll add a few more of the decorative pieces in the usual way that I make snippet rolls, really. It's a bit of a formula, isn't it? You just put down your bits of fabric. So I might as well use some of these. Some of these are just too small for this. That's why I've got my slightly larger pieces here, so I can cut some pieces down. They don't need to be enormous, but the pieces in that pot are super tiny. At least some of them are. So I've just spotted a piece here that I rather like, so that might go on there. I think I might move that away from the other red though. Put something different in between. Oh, this is a lovely one. Some of these pieces are actually quite big in this box, but you can't have every size kept separate, can you? Okay. We don't want lots of glue. Okay, so this is the first strip, starting point anyway. So I should put that aside to dry, and we'll do a second one. This one is a little narrower, just because I'm not very good at cutting things in this width that I planned. This was meant to be a bit, I mean, I've got an even narrower one, but I think this is more for a snippet, proper little snippet roll, which we may get to, but this is definitely meant to be either for a belly band or a side tuck, or just to decorate. Still cut this up in the same way, it's just a slightly wider, slightly bigger piece. I'm going to get a bit of wet wipes. I was watching somebody called Dave. I think his channel is Dash of Dave. He's involved in this collaboration that Rachel and Bella Crafts have organised, and he doesn't like the word belly, and so he doesn't call them belly bands. He calls them page bands, and I rather like that. I'm not a big fan of that word either. I would never say when they had I'd always say tummy ache. I'd never say belly ache. It's just not a word I like. I don't know. Some of us are funny like that, aren't we, with the words we choose to use sometimes. And that's definitely not a word I've ever been very fond of. So I quite like the idea of page band rather than belly band, but the likelihood of me remembering to call it that, having got used to the term belly band after all these years, I can't see that I will be able to remember to call it page band instead, but I quite like it. I can't really understand where the term belly band even comes from, what it refers to. It's quite weird, isn't it, really, when you think about it. Yep, I knew I had that piece somewhere, that other little bit of this. Alright, so now we've got our second snippet strip it, whatever you call it, snippet roll, snippet strip. It's only a snippet roll if you can roll it up. And I'm not going to roll it up because I'm going to use it as part of a belly band. Right, so that's those two. How are we doing for time? Yeah, I think I should go and sew those so we can finish them at least. I might have to do the other bit off camera because I think otherwise we'll be here all day just sticking bits of fabric to other bits of fabric. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine and I've sewn down those two that we made, and I did this other little narrow one as well while I was at it. So I've got a little snippet roll or snippet strip to cut up as well. So we might get to that later, I don't know. I think I'm going to concentrate on this one. I'm going to put this one aside and finish it a bit later because I want to get at least one of these belly bands finished. So I've got my piece of cardstock, well it's quite thin card, cut to size of the belly band that I need. So I think what I'm just going to do on this one is just decorate it with bits of glittery stuff and bits of lace, and I don't think I'm going to use these on these because I think they're too big, and I've got another idea for those. So I'm just going to cut bits up and glue them on. I may sew over it again. I wanted to just get this nice and firmly sewed down, but I could easily go back and do some more sewing on this to make sure it's all positioned, and I will probably trim this down the side when I come to put it on the belly band as well. So I've got this bit of gorgeous glittery ribbon. Got a whole roll of it, and all I've done is it's one of those what do they call them, wired ribbons, and I've just cut off the wired edge because I don't really like the wiring, and it's just covered with glittered up what do you call them? Oh, can't think of my words. Baubles, Christmas baubles. So I thought I might use one of those. And again, we'll go back to our fabric glue. I have now topped up my bottle as well, although it's still gunky around the top. So yeah, I'm just going to zhuzh it up, as you do. A little bit, doesn't need a lot of glue, I don't think. It's very fine, this stuff. It's on a kind of, what do you call it, organza backing. Yeah, look at that, gorgeous. I've got some lovely red lace. This is the remnants of the piece I used on the journal for the giveaway. So I might just cut a piece of that off. Don't know where I picked this up. I think it was like a dressing table tray piece of fabric, piece of lace. Just a small piece really. And it wasn't really sitting with my Christmas stuff. I think that's why I forgot to use it. I've had it probably quite a while. But really and truly, it's Christmas. It's Christmas lace, isn't it? Because it's red. And I thought I'd use a piece of the nice tartan ribbon that I used on the closure. Oh God, what is wrong with my brain? I've just had a cup of coffee, so I should be awake. Yes, I took the opportunity of the camera being off to grab a coffee and a naughty biscuit. Just one biscuit, and I bought a pack of my favourites, which are ginger nuts. I love a ginger nut, so I've just got one pack, and I have one biscuit, not every day, but when I really fancy one, I'll have one. And what else can we put on here? I pinched this little odd scrap of glittery ribbon from when we were doing our crafting at the WI. Somebody brought in a roll of this, and there was a bit laying on the table. I hadn't used this. I think somebody else had used it. So I thought, oh, I'll grab that. It's only a little bit. I think it's quite, I don't think it's wired, but it's a bit stiff at the side, so I might just trim those edges off, I think. Soften it a little bit, or that's made them a little bit, they might fray a bit, I don't know. But anyway, I might just glue a bit of this on. Where'd it go? And let's get a little bit of glue on those edges. Make sure they're flat. A bit down the middle and the other edge. And I'm just going to put it, oops, upside down. That's not going to be good. There's a glittery Christmas tree. So I thought, well, I can use that. I can get it to stay flat. So this might be another reason for going over it again with my sewing machine. What I might do is go up the sides this time with a straight stitch. Before I did a zigzag down the middle, I might now go up the sides to make sure I catch all the bits that are off at different angles. And what else have we got here? Bit of red lace. Put that on this side. This is another roll of ribbon that was wired. So this is red with gold snowflakes on it, I think. So I'm going to cut that down a bit and put a bit of that on. No. Okay, I'm going to cover up the poinsettia. I know, it's very sad. Actually, what I think I might do, take that off. It's too big. Take a chunk of that off, and then I can, still covering up the poinsettia, but never mind. But no, it's not quite as big. So I just want bits of bling and sparkle here and there. Oh, can't go far without a bit of gold rack, can we? A bit of that, I think, down the bottom here. Of course, I won't be using all of this for my belly band, but I will have other purposes for it, I'm sure. Don't know what yet, but we will see. What else can I put on here? So I've got a strip of gold stars here. They're like little padded gold stars. So I do want 2 or 3 or just 1. I'll cut 3 and see how it looks. Might be too much. Maybe 2 would be better. Got a funny little knob here. Obviously where it was joined to the previous one. I'll just trim that a little bit. I think 2 is enough. I think 3's too much, basically. And which side do I want? I don't think it matters. A little blob there, a little blob there. This is definitely the fun part, making the snippets. Adding the bling. I'm going to put another star, the other star that I trimmed off. I'm going to put that on top of the rip rack. Right there. Okay. And what else have we got? I've got a variety of little bits and pieces in this box. I could pull out, I think. Is this my bits and pieces box? No, that's not my bits and pieces. I've been throwing things in there, but it's the wrong box. I've got a couple of flowers. Now, this is my bits and pieces. This is my box of bits of decorative bits. I've got this red flower, but I just wonder if it's a bit too much, too fat. I can trim that. I can try and trim off this stalky bit and fail, of course. I think I've tried before. Pull a bit of it off. Try and make it as flat as possible. We'll see. I might add that on after it's in place. What else do we have? Any more fun sparkly bits? Well, I've got, oh yes, I have got a bit of this. This is lovely sparkly. Also, previously wired, I cut off all the wiring. It's a green sparkly ribbon with little stars on it. I love it. I haven't got an awful lot left now. I've used it quite a bit. I'm going to put some of that up here, I think. Have that going the other way. Adding a bit more sparkle up there. I wonder if I've got any more. in my book because I'd like to add a little bit more. It's around somewhere. Is there any in here? Yes, there is. Oh yes, I've got a bit left. That's good. So I might just have a bit down here as well. Cut off these edges. And we'll have some right here. And I want a little something here, I think. What else can I find? Anything in there that I want? No, not really. Well, I have got this piece of lovely tartan ribbon. Could put a piece of that on. It's got a spark. It's got a bit of silver in it, which is a bit different. I'll just take a lump of that. Now this has got a little bit of wiring at the side. It's not very, very stiff, but it is a little bit. I'm going to see if I can just, there we go, there, if you squeeze it, that little bit of wire pokes its head out and you can just pull it out. That's, at least that's the theory. There it is. I don't know if you can see that. Little tiny bit of wire there. Just pulled it out the side. I think I saw Rachel doing this last year. Somebody, might have been Rachel. I thought, well, that's a good idea. Take the wire out. That's why I didn't really ever use wired ribbon, because I didn't like the wiring. Made it too stiff. Didn't know you could take the wire out. Why didn't I think of that? It's funny how the simplest things don't occur to you. Right, so where can I put this lovely piece? Don't know if I want it all now. It's a bit big. I think I might put that across here a little bit. Okay, a little bit of shine and sparkle. And got some little velvet bows. I had another little bow somewhere that I thought I could use. Don't know where it ended up. Different bow. These little velvet ones are rather sweet and they make a nice little highlight. Maybe up there would be nice. They're a little on the fat side, but certainly my journal has got room to expand, hasn't it? Let's see about the other one. Oop. Okay, so if it stays. Do I want another one? Here, for instance. Have I got this back to front? Nope, that's right. I might put that little one right there. Could make sewing up the sides a little interesting, but we'll see. See how it goes. I just put my foot down on my little pedal and it whoosh and make it go fast so that the sewing machine doesn't have time to protest. It's probably not the right thing to do. Sewing machine abuse. I'm just putting this little bit, I'm just sticking bits on now that's laying around. Oop. Bit of rick-rack going down. Okay. How are we doing? Do I need to... I think I'm going to just trim some of this up a little bit. Certainly up here it looks a little bit wide to me. This bit here, a bit wider all the way up here, I think. Just needs a little bit of tidying. And right at the top here. This bit here is a bit wide too. Let's have a look. Oops, sorry. Just banged the camera. Right, let's do a little bit, just a little bit of tidying up the edges here. Don't want to cut that bit of lace off though. And I'm just going to trim this bit of fabric down the side. Let's get rid of all these little tiny pieces. Still an option. Am I upside down? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay, that's a bit tidier. So then I've got to decide which end I want for my belly band, and I am going to sew again, I think, but I just thought I might as well just identify which bit. I quite like that because we've got the bow in the middle, haven't we? Because I'm wondering whether to put a bit of something on the belly band as well, on the cardstock. So I've got that end, or I could put that to make sure. No, I wouldn't want to do it like cut it in the middle because then I'd have an odd bit. I could put that there. So I've got the Christmas tree, a bit of Christmas tree, and I've got the bow there and the star. Oh, I don't know. I do rather like this end. I like this bit. That's what I love. Okay, well I am going to take this to the sewing machine and try and just go down the sides just to make sure at least one side of every bit is caught in, and try to avoid the bows. So I'm just going to concentrate on this one for now because we haven't really got time to do all the others, and it's taken me quite a while to get this far. So I just at least want to get my belly band finished, and then we'll see what we do next time. Alright, I'll be right back. Right, I'm back again from the sewing machine. I've been round the sides, you can probably see. I've woven it around a bit, just to make sure I try to catch a few bits in. So it's not nice and straight down the middle, but not terribly straight up the sides, but that doesn't matter. I just wanted to make sure I caught in all the bits that I wanted to, that were sticking out a little bit at the sides. So I think that'll be okay. And I think what I want to do is just to soften this background a bit. So I've pulled out these couple of bits of lace that were on this card. In fact, there are 3 bits on here, which I hadn't realised. But the piece I think I'd like to use, because it is quite see-through, so you can still see a little bit of the background, and it's very soft, but I thought it would just soften the background. What I'll do is I'll cut a piece to size, and I'll cut it down the middle so that there's a bit both sides, because I don't need to do 2 pieces, because it only really needs to show at the sides. I'm just going to straighten off this bottom piece, and then I'm going to cut it down the middle, because this one's good because it's the same both sides, so you can just kind of spread it and it'll just have a little soft edge, a little bit of scallop either side, and I just think that would look nice behind the snippet roll. Doesn't even need to be cut that straight really, because nobody will see it. And then I'll have a piece, hoping this will work anyway. Hope it's wide enough once it's in half. A piece there, and a piece there. and then this will go down the middle. Yeah, I think that'll work. Right, let's do that. Let's put some glue on, glue these down. Made the snippet roll just a little bit longer, top and bottom, just to get that bit of Christmas tree in. But I may have to snip it off. I don't know how wide it will be, how tall it will be on the page. I can certainly just trim that little bit off without losing any real design element. And that's my belly band. So shall we see how it's going to look in the journal? I've got another pretty bit here, which I don't know where I'm going to use that yet. And let's turn this up. So I'm sorry it's taken pretty well the whole video just to make this belly band, but it's one of those things, it's been on my mind as to how I was going to do it and what I wanted to, all the different things I wanted to do, but I could do this kind of thing all day long. I love making snippet rolls and using bits of fabric and little bits of bling and just making things pop and sparkle, especially for Christmas. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And let's see, where's my journal? There it is. So I've obviously got a lot of work to do on this to finish off the cover. It's not even, I don't know why I'm putting it there because that's not going to be, but you can see there's this bit of ribbon, And if you remember, that's right, I've got the two signatures. I'm going to put this belly band in the front one, I think. I've added an extra bit of Edith Holden paper here. Wondering what I'm going to use as my belly band. Don't know yet, but it'll look something like that. I think that'll look lovely. So, because all our pockets that we made didn't have a belly band. And the other thing I thought I was hoping to get to today, if you remember at the beginning of this signature, and I love this, there's this bit here that had to be covered up, so I thought, well, I need a side tuck clearly, so it's possible I could use that. Yes, I really could use that actually. That would cover it beautifully, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's very tempting, because I did have another thought, but I don't know whether it'll work now or whether I'll do it. I've got this paper from the Simple Stories, and I thought that would actually make quite an interesting side tuck as well. So I'll have to think on that, because it's very tempting to use this, because I love it and I don't want to waste it. So we'll see. And I could still make that into a little tuck. I could even back it onto something a bit firmer so that you could tuck it. I don't think I've got anything to hand that's wide enough. I mean, I could use this, but it would be a bit of a waste, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's for next time. We'll get to that. In the meantime, I need to finish doing my snippet roll. I'm sorry I can't do it all on camera. It just takes too long. Much as I'd love to spend every video making snippet rolls and doing pretty things, it's just not really possible. Otherwise, we will be here till next Christmas. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. I love doing this, as you can probably tell. And hopefully you'll get to do some yourself. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.